My name's Paul Atherton, and I'm here because I want to talk to you about the truth of selling. Now, you may expect somebody who's going to come on and talk professionally about selling to be in a suit, not a tracksuit. Now, I can put a suit on, but I'm not here to be what I think you want me to be. I'm here to state my truth. And if it's your truth, you'll connect. Whether I've got a fucking suit on or a Borat mankini on, right? Selling. Deep down, you hate it. Deep down, you don't feel right with it. You feel pressure. Your own pressure, the pressure your company might be putting on, that you must sell, your own pressure that you must sell and you've got to sell, and all these courses and programs and what sales has become, which is pure technique, right? Pure technique, manipulative, pressured. It doesn't feel right to you. It doesn't sit with you, with your integrity. Your base core values of integrity and authenticity, you don't always believe what you're saying. You've got to put this act on. When you think about selling in advance, it's all about planning how you can control the other person. But let me introduce a concept to you, which is the truth. You can't convince anybody to do anything. You have absolutely no power to make anybody do anything. You are powerless. Let me just repeat that. You are powerless. Powerless. You have no power over people, places, and things. You cannot make anybody do anything. The realization of that truth is the beginning of your freedom. I'm going to introduce a concept to you called powerless selling. Now, I've been in sales since I was 7 years old. Okay? You know, what gives me the authority to talk on the subject? I've been the top salesperson in every organisation I've ever joined. I got to the very top of every organisation I've ever joined, had all the promotions, started at the bottom as a canvasser, ended up at the top running a sales force of 500 people who wrote over £100 million under my leadership. Okay, I've sold £57 million worth of product sales myself in my career. But all that counts for jack shit when you consider the truth. The truth is, I have no power, no more power than you do, to make anybody do anything or sell anything. And when I look back at my career, and I, by the way, have used every single technique there is in the book, every one that you've ever heard of, read, all the ones that are being used, all this sort of scarcity and, you know, countdown clock and we've only got one left and all this sort of crap. It's bollocks. The truth of pressure-free selling, spontaneous, in-the-moment selling, true inspiration, comes from realizing that you're powerless. There are 7 stages to this philosophy. Okay, now I'm not selling anything here, right? If you've watched this long, it shows that there's some truth in what I've said. Otherwise, you'd have switched off. Okay, there are seven key constituent parts to this philosophy. 1, thinking, or in a game. What we think, the thought stream, the mind stream of how we think, what our intention is, our motives are integral. The nature of our integrity is anything at odds. Is our behaviour at odds with our beliefs? Am I living my values? If any of those things aren't integrated, you will have an internal conflict. Doesn't matter how much technique you're taught out of the greatest courses by the greatest teachers and the best coaches in the world, you won't fucking feel like doing it because it's at odds with your subconscious, your deepest values. Firstly, inner game, the way of powerlessness. You need to tune into that. Number 2 is our outer game. This body-mind we have as an instrument, and how we handle that instrument every day to make us the most effective communicators, so that we inspire, not force, coerce, manipulate, persuade. You try persuading somebody against their will, you try persuading somebody to change, they will remain. They'll probably be even more convinced of their own truth, their own opinions, the way it is. They'll be more convinced not to change the more you persuade. This is a paradox. How do you handle the instrument of your body-mind? What are your habits? What are your routines? How do you get your energy? What kind of energy do you bring? If you've got misgivings, if you've got inner conflict, when you turn up to a sales call with your suit on and your smile, your cheesy fucking smile, right, and all the handshakes and all the rest of it, your energy will betray you, and they will not buy, and they will not know why, but something won't feel right. The outer game is all about how we calibrate and how we manage this vehicle that we have that carries around our consciousness every day, and how we treat and cultivate this instrument to make us the most inspirational. This is also about leadership, and selling is leadership. The third part is about value. It's about how you were made, how you're made, what you've been put here for, how you uniquely create value in a way that nobody else can, and nobody else can copy, replicate. Discovering that for yourself and turning that into unique, inspirational, game-changing, life-changing product. That's the third element. The fourth element is about the questions that you ask. And none of this, all this crap, asking questions that force people to say yes. That's what all the sales books and courses are about. Yes, if you could be a millionaire by next week, I'm sure you'd be interested, wouldn't you? Bollocks. The questions to ask, there's a certain set of questions to ask, and they are based on purposeful curiosity. Not just like find their pain and make it bleed as much as you can, then jump in and save the day with your solution. Shite. That's shite. You ask the questions which uncover their values, their frustrations, their worries, their feelings, and you be there with them, and you go there with them, and you understand. You don't force it, you don't turn up the dial and try and make it worse. You discover what it is, how it is, reality. Then you can start to solve. There's a unique set of questions, a way of doing it from powerlessness that is inspirational. Next, number 5, comes the story sell. There's so much talk about stories. Even people who teach story selling don't tell stories. If I look at a business on any website and they say our story, it's not the story. It says founded 1848. We've got branches in 25 capital cities. We're the best at this, the best. It's not a story. It's just bragging, right? It's just a pissing contest. Stories. There are key stories that inspire. True stories. Real stories. Real people just like them. There's a structure for stories that keeps the brain attentive and inspires. You've got to learn how to do that. It's simple, but you won't learn how to do that from all the courses and books and videos and all the other shit out there, because it's all about, oh, we're the best at this, we're the best, we did this for those people, we did this for those people, aren't we so fucking great? Right? None of that's ever going to work for you. It has to come from powerlessness. Do your story sell? Part 6. Action. Action. What's going to happen next? This is the close. But it's not a close, it's an open. It's an open of, well, what suits them? Not what technique am I going to use to get them to say yes and pay me. What suits them? What's a good step? What's a good next step? What should we do from here? With genuine intent on what they want to do, and let them make the decision. But all the work is done from powerlessness, from humility. Inspirational, closing if you like, but it's opening, it's completing. Learning how to do that the powerless way. It's the only way to do so with no pressure on you and no pressure on them, so that it feels totally authentic, naturally, like two people having a conversation. That's how it feels to them and how it feels to you. It's totally in harmony and congruent with your values and your beliefs and your purpose. Then you have no leftover after feeling of I didn't like this or didn't like that, or that wasn't right, or worries and fears. You're able to come away from every transaction having spontaneously inspired through a set of 7 principles, and you leave with the business done and a clear mind. That's powerless selling. 7 is the payoff. The payoff is all about the afterglow you give your client and the afterglow you give yourself. The true feeling of achievement, knowing you've inspired, you've created through your unique powerlessness, you've created the environment for somebody else to volunteer to trust and change. Truly, that's integrity. These 7 principles are the only way, and it starts with powerlessness. I cannot change anything, anybody, any circumstances, anything. All I can do is manage myself, my thinking, my body, mind, the instrument that I carry my consciousness round in, the way I bring value, the questions I ask, the stories I tell, the way I invite the next step, and the way I satisfy all of my promises and assurances. All of this with sincerity, with no technique, spontaneous. This is going to leave you with no pressure, no sales pressure from above, from you, from nobody else. It's all about each transaction, one at a time, clear mind, you're totally present, mindfully present, and a feeling of oneness, of integrity, of harmony, of consistency with your values, of being true to yourself. That's what powerless selling is. All I can control in my own thinking and my own behaviour. That's all I need to get right. And then the people that should buy from you will buy from you. Powerless selling, remove all pressure from you and them. And the people that should buy from you will buy from you, and it will be their decision. You will have been an instrument of inspiration. Powerless selling. If you're interested in finding out more about these 7 principles and turning them into practical steps that you can take to remove all the pressure from within and above and around you, to be spontaneous, totally authentic, to love the job of inspiring others, and for people who should buy from you to buy from you. If you're interested in finding out more and turning this into something for you, of your own for you, put your name below in the comments with your email address, and I'll get in touch with you and we'll have a chat. Or you can just send me a PM and we'll have a chat. Deal? Thank you.